Hey everyone, Eddie here. We are back with Sephiria. Have another fun build and fun character and backstory for everyone today. I've been getting a lot of requests for a companion turtle build, specifically with the Dark Veil Dagger, which is a dagger that has a companion buff attached to it. So since we've gotten quite a few requests for this specific build, I figured I'd go ahead and showcase the build that I came up with and hope you enjoy. So without further ado, we'll go over the preset of the build, my tips and tricks, the character I created specifically for the build, and a full gameplay run to show the build here in action. So this is dubbed the Chaos Summoner build because we will be doing chaos damage with our minions throughout the run. The weapon, of course, is the dagger because, well, that's what everyone wanted to see. And the Dark Veil Dagger specifically is a range-style dagger. So immediately after you choose the first anvil, the first enhancement, you change playstyles from melee to range, so keep that in mind. The costume, the turtle, is back again because of popular requests. It does give plus 15% artifact damage, which of course means our companions, because they are artifacts, immediately get that plus 15 artifact damage boost, which is really nice. We do have that minus 15 weapon damage, but as I'll show, you can easily remove that, if not gain even better weapon damage if you so choose. For the talents, I am going a full 50 talent tree here. If you don't have the full 50 and you want to go this specific style to ensure you get the items needed for the build, I would go full luck because you do get that full wishing fountain. You also get the dice and the increased HP and NP. So this is a really good one. Next one I would focus is ingenuity. Not only do you get even more HP, but you get that evasion, which is pretty big for a style of this build. You also get additional 2 inventory slots, which is great because we're going to have a lot of combos. The number of choices for weapons, items, and miracles increases by 1, which is great, especially when you go into hard mode and high tiers. And it increases the universal damage boost by 7% for each active combo type, which is the big one, right? Because universal damage with companions, just like with planets, is huge. You get such good amount of damage overall. It is beneficial, especially in this style build. And for the other talents, I am going into swiftness, which is attack speed and a bit more evasion. So we're going to get some pretty high evasion early on. But more so, this also allows our weapon damage to decrease by half, right? For the negative that we have. Since it is plus 8%, that is going to allow us to do a little bit better on the weapon damage scale to start. But we'll see how it progresses after that. For the Wishing Fountain, you definitely want to start out with Devotion Insignia, mainly due to the fact that, well, this is what's going to give your companions chaos damage. So this is how the build works. So because chaos is a special attribute that is considered all elemental damage, that means it is also considered as fire, magitech, snow, glacier, right? It has all those effects built in it. Slim Cushion makes our companions attack more frequently. So that means the faster they attack, the more elemental damage from this chaos they're going to do. So what does that mean for this build? For the Fruit Skewer, we are going the carrot for the adaptive bonus, Stormcloud 100%, Companion 100%, and Windsong 50%. Windsong is crucial, mainly due to the evasion and the attack speed for this specific build. Companion is definitely where you want to go full front, but Stormcloud is the secret to this build. The reason being is the Bond artifact Flux Copler reads as follows. Activate Stormcloud one time when a companion deals lightning damage, right? And it completes our companion damage even more so. So even more companion damage for all of our companions for a boost along with our artifact damage. There's potential for a lot of damage. So because our minions are also going to be doing chaos damage, which means they will be doing lightning damage, our Stormcloud is going to be proccing quite often in this build. So it should look and feel really cool. For the favorite artifacts, I mean, pretty much you want to focus on companion. The biggest ones, of course, Slim Cushion, which we were starting off with, Fonz's Horn, Flux Copler, Simple Contract, ones that are going to give all your companions buff. There is the alchemy items that I've grown to love with any build, and for this one specifically, the Traveler's Blessing, it does have weapon damage increase, so we could go ahead and take off that full negative effect if we do find it. After that, you'll have quite a few different combos effects that you could potentially get. but you do want to focus on Stormcloud and, of course, Windsong for that attack speed as we progress. So, let's get into the character I created specifically for the build. This is Bane, a Dark Lord apprentice who began developing his chaotic powers at an early age, becoming perhaps the most gifted warlock in his entire tribe. But despite his incredible potential, Bane is never taken seriously because of his small size. Tired of being underestimated, the young warlock grows bitter and becomes determined to prove every doubter wrong. Each year, the tribe holds the legendary Dark Trials, where only a chosen few may prove their loyalty by venturing into the abyss. A freezing, cursed realm where vicious monsters and terrifying demons thrive. Young warlocks willingly risk their lives within its depths for the chance to earn the ultimate title, Dark Lord. Refusing to wait for his opportunity, Bane sneaks into the abyss, unseen, and enters the trial alone. Now surrounded by creatures that could tear him apart, Bane will prove that size means nothing when you wield the power of chaos and show his tribe that they didn't just underestimate their future Dark Lord. They underestimated the future Dark Lord of Chaos Summoning. Ooh. So, will Bane be successful in completing these Dark Trials and becoming the very first Dark Lord of Chaos Summoning? Or will he fail and be lost in this dark realm forever? Let's find out. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. It does help me out and I greatly appreciate it. Also, please feel free to post in the comments. I do reply to all of my comments, so let me know what you think of the game, the gameplay, the build, and the lore. And of course, if you'd like to follow this and all of my content, please subscribe. We are building a great community here. Love to see you join, especially if you're enjoying the content. And a big shout out to all of my current subscribers that constantly comment, like, and share my videos. Thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate you. All right, so as you can see, this is how Devotion Insignia works. So you want to ensure, we're going to have 5 other minions here, right? So 5 minions with a Devotion Insignia, that as long as they're in the same row, they will gain that chaos damage, which again means that they'll have all attribute types. So the sooner we can go ahead and find the Stormcloud bond artifact, the faster we'll be able to do some pretty cool damage overall with all of our companions, which I'm looking forward to. All right, here we go. Bane wants to prove that his size does not matter and show not only the lords of his tribe, but also his fellow young warlocks that he can be taken seriously and his potential is great. Now, summoning is pretty key for warlocks here, but summoning chaos minions is by far a huge stride, master level as far as warlocks are concerned. So I wonder why the Dark Lords are so cautious of young Bane here. All right, we're pretty much getting everything that we would want here. I do really like Simple Contract, again, because we can boost, but I'd also like to go ahead and pick up the Companion. Not only do we get Companion 4 here, but now we have an extra Companion. So now after summoning the Mole Miner here, now another Chaos Summon has shown up here and is from the Thunder Gods themselves, the Electric Jelly. Oath of the Vampire Lord? I mean, if we had enough, I wouldn't mind picking that up. Lifesteal in any build is good. Very good in this game, especially in the higher tiers here. All right, here we go. Anvil. So remember, we did talk about this, that once we enhance here, it will change our playstyle. But it looks like, yes, the statue of the Dark Trials. A very eerie symbol here, but maybe to outsiders. For warlocks, this is beautiful. All right, here we go. Enhancement. And of course, it's going to be Alpine. So weapon attack is changed to a form that throws Shuriken. So again, from melee, now we become a range style build. And once we get to our second enhancement as well, that's also going to follow through. Now, the biggest thing that we want to consider, too, is balancing between Stormcloud and Companion. Now, there are some amazing legendary items that we could potentially pick up. I want to see what's going to be able to balance out, because at some point, there is a potential where once our Companions are attacking, we will run out of Stormcloud charges. So, have to keep that in mind as we progress. Speaking of, I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the Custard, just so we can start building foundation for Stormcloud. Maybe we'll get lucky enough to find the mini ballista early on too, so we can get a double combo bonus for Companion and Stormcloud. Alright, Bane sending off his Chaos Summons to do his dirty work here for him throughout these dark trials. Beautiful. Rebellion isn't bad. I feel like we could potentially get something a little bit better here. That's better. Now, the issue with Foundation is if I put it at the top, which is what I really want to do, we do lose one slot where we could fit a Companion. So that is the only negative side effect that I could see, but we'll keep it here for the time being and see what else we could pick up as we progress through the levels. But it seems like there's an eerie presence here. Yes. Now remember, our lords here are the ones who set up the trials, but it seems like there is a ritual summoning up ahead. Ah, yes. They've summoned the goat skeleton, an early summon here that are taught by the lords to the early stages of apprentice warlocks here. The Bane is easily able to take down the goat skeleton. Alfonso's horn, and wow, these are all pretty good. We'll go ahead and pick up Alfonso's horn because, well, I mean, that is not only Companion, but it's a buff towards all Companions. And again, those are the ones that I would try to focus on as you progress through this style of build. Now, as you get into higher tiers, you might have less options as you've seen here, but it is important to learn the foundation of a style build of this caliber, especially with a dagger. All right, so it looks like the Dark Trials have a shadowy block here for the exit of the next area. So it looks as though young Bane has to complete a new trial. The Mind Eater route? No. Okay, the Dark Lords summoning Mind Eater roots. Oh no. Bane feels like this is a pretty heavy monster to summon for Dark Trials, especially for the first area of Apprentice Warlocks. Now, you do keep your Fury and Parry with Dagger. That doesn't change, even though we change the range. All it does is change it into a more range focus, so keep that in mind as well. But Bane easily devours the Mind Eater root. Wow, can you imagine Meteor Shower in this build? I mean, this does give us, it's a pretty weak item, to say the least, so I think I will reroll to see. I mean, I do like Tarot Spirit. I want Stormcloud for potential, but I knowingly know I'm going to get Stormcloud here in a bit. So I actually will go ahead and substitute this to see what we can get. Ooh, Oath is fantastic. We can actually do something of this nature. So we can ensure there's a little bit of boost for everybody. I do really like that. Okay. Bane has now completed the first floor of the Dark Trials, now ready to venture into the next area, which appears to be the Dark Forest. Okay. But it looks like our lords are not without blessing. They have provided a miracle route here for the young warlocks. The General. Oh, wow. Now, there are two miracles you could potentially go here. This one is hard to pass up because getting the General here, the Mind Supervisor armband plus companion damage to boost is pretty good. The other one that we could go is Meteorologist, which will increase our Lightning Storm for Storm Cloud, which is also pretty good. But it's very hard to pass up the opportunity for Mining Supervisor Armband, so I think I'm going to go ahead and falter and summon a Chaos Miner here. Wow. Okay. All right, unfortunately, we don't have enough to get what I would like, which is the Golden Needle. Now, these appear in any shop, but those are the ones that you're going to kind of want to focus on as you progress as well. Because with the Golden Needle, not only does it give a damage boost to anything that's pointed north of it, right? So any of the artifacts, but it also acts as a combo. So for instance, if we place that under the Ahmad Spirit Power, it gives a combo to Companion and Magitech, which in our current case would increase both combo effects to the next tier, which is pretty good. But Bane is ready to enhance his weapon and show the lords his dark veil. Ooh, this is the weapon that everybody wanted. Gain Dominate buff when using weapon attack. Companion damage increases by 5% and companion attack speed increases by 6%. Wow. All right, so here we are. Now our companions are going to attack that much faster here and gain a buff so long as we keep up our attacks and the staff. So what does that mean here for the stacks? Well, essentially, once we're able to get Storm Cloud going, as long as our companions are attacking and we get that Flux Coupler, essentially, these minions are going to be doing quite some heavy damage as we progress. Now, there is some Windsong in this build, but I think I'd rather go ahead and try to move forward. Yes, so we can go ahead and establish Storm Cloud. Now, we're not going to get too heavy a Storm Cloud just yet, but this will allow us to get the foundation built and hopefully let us find the Flux Coupler, which is the bond artifact for Storm Cloud and Companion. Now, I only know we're going to need some more inventory. Luckily, we did start with the extra 2 here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and then potentially go for the elite enemy. Now, I will say, unlike my other companion builds that I've done, especially the ultimate companion build, I don't have as much MP. So I'm not utilizing my parry as much. So there's potential to grow into the parry phase and even go maybe a bit more into the shadowy sense of this potential build. But also at the same time, we want to ensure that we're not utilizing too much on MP for the focus of this build. Oh, wow. Magma Bead is so good. And that is another combo, so I am going to pick that up, actually. I don't plan on doing too much burn, but at the same time, we just got 2 more combo effects. And remember, because of Ingenuity, the more combo effects that we have active, the more universal damage. And look, that excites our Chaos Summon Mole Chief here. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. All right, so we are going to go the elite enemy. Normally, I would only really go experience if I needed health, but we are doing pretty well with the build overall, especially being ranged. All right, let's go ahead and get more fruit. We want to start building up on the stacks here for Stormcloud as well. All right, Bane senses yet another eerie presence here, but of a different kind. It appears the lords have summoned from the Thieves Guild the Black Panther, stooping as low to summon those from the thieves from the black markets. Oh, wow. Ballista is so big for us here. Holy. I actually think I may substitute out here. Do something of this nature. Now, again, I am losing a slot here in Slim Cushion. I could easily change this out and potentially will because we want this row currently. And there's also a merit to go ahead and get rid of Foundation to move lower. So it looks like with any companion build, we're going to want some more tablets and, more importantly, some luck with enchants as well, right? All right, we do have enough now to get a golden needle. Unfortunately, there isn't one here in the side ones. So we'll go ahead and save, knowing that we could potentially get one here in the next area. All right, let's see. All right. All right, here we are. Bane, completing the second floor here of the Dark Trials, now ready to venture into the next area to become the Dark Lord of Chaos Summoning. With his new Chaos Summons in hand and his Dark Veil. I mean, if you ever were to have a dagger and a warlock, this is it. Look at it. But here we are. The rival tribe, the Witch Doctors. Yes, a classic rivalry. Witch Doctor versus Warlock. Here we go. The Witch Doctor is no match for the strength of the Chaos Summoner. Ooh, I do like the Thunderstorm tracking. Again, the Magitech is pretty good because it goes hand in hand with that, so I actually don't mind that pickup. Icebug is also pretty good because Freeze is a potential for this style build as well. I guess we can go ahead and pick this up and see what could potentially happen. Harvest is another great one too. I can actually just stack Harvest here to increase our Mining Supervisor, the Mole Chief, and then also Alfonso's Horn, so all of our companions can do more damage, and we gain even more evasion. We're at 22 evasion here, which is already a good start, which is why I feel like there's some Shadow that can go along, but we don't want to go too heavy into Shadow here in this build. All right. Bane has completed the second floor of the Dark Trial and now enters the Abandoned Library. Once the home of the Dark Mages of the North. I wonder why they have abandoned this place. All right, so now we know... Ooh, this is a nice one. That's +5. That's very good. But I do like the Golden Needle here. Again, placing it here gives us Companion and Stormcloud, and now our Mini Ballista has an increased damage amplification, and this can go even higher if we so choose. All right, let's see. We talked about enchant. We could actually go triple enchant here. Inventory, again, is pretty important, but remember, we did start off with 2 extra inventory slots due to our Ingenuity talent, so I do feel like going the enchant here will give us a huge boost to our already high stats, and maybe we can find that bond artifact we've been searching for. Here we go. Bane. Entering the Abandoned Library. Now, why would the Lords have our young warlocks be summoned here to the land that once was known to the Dark Mages? Very peculiar here. But Bane knows the goal stays the same. We must venture and find out what exactly is happening here. Now, I do like Angry Potato for ignore defense. Also gives us a little more luck than we already have, but I'm going to re-roll here, see what else we could potentially find. Okay, there are some good ones here. Stoneflower, I mean, that does give us a Stormcloud 6, and it's not too high of a pull point, so we will get that because we do want that storm capacity to keep increasing for us here for this build. White Eggshell is a favorite in this build. Ooh, I am very tempted to grab White Paper because we can immediately gain Companion, but White Eggshell is just so good in a build like this. We'll just start seeing enemies just absolutely erupt with that execution damage. Okay, so starting off with 2 enchant here. I'm going to go ahead and keep up with our Slim Cushion here. Gain a little bit more. Again, more than likely I am going to substitute this, so moving this out of the way here We could get more out of our minions and putting it here for chaos damage. All right, another enchant. Here we go. All right, on to the next area. Now, we still have a couple of other minions that we could potentially pick up and find here. So it's pretty normal, especially with Golden Eel in a build like this with Turtle, where you'll have a increase in your combos. Ooh. I think I'm just going to convert here so that way I can save into the next area. A white eggshell is doing work. Okay. Another 2 enchant. Okay. Not our luck in regards to the enchants for this, but that's okay. At least we're still gaining some extra. So now, actually what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and put an extra into Slim Cushion. Now, again, we have 4, so we're still not at full capacity. But I could go ahead and switch it over to one of these, right? We do lose out a little bit on some, but now I can go ahead and move, let's say, our fire minion up top. So now this will gain chaos. And we can go ahead, if we want to, gain a little bit of extra boost here. I could go lightning damage. I could potentially go burn. But I do like the storm cloud capacity here. So I'll go ahead and put that for the fruit on the +1 there. All right, last enchant. The enchants so far have been great for us because they've allowed us not only to move around items in our inventory, but gain even more frequency from Slim Cushion and potentially some other items that we'll get here in this one. Oh, wow. Palace cards, I do like in Windsong, mainly because we already have high-end luck with the full Witch Fountain. But again, I think I'm just going to focus on the Storm Cloud here and see if we can grab that. Oh, an eerie presence lies ahead, but this time of a different nature. This is more of a demonic presence up ahead. Now, we do know that in this abyss, there are demons, but this seems different. A demonic grimoire? Surely our lords are not summoning the demons themselves. Huh. Peculiar. Bane grows curious here. This is a pretty interesting bond artifact that we could go, but we're looking for a different one. Now, Ruby Bruche is one that we could potentially go here. This is actually an interesting one that I was not planning on getting in this run. I was thinking more of Flux Copler just due to the nature of the companions doing lightning damage due to chaos and the attack, but this could be pretty good. Let's pick this up and see how this turns out for us. So now we gain Storm Cloud 8, which is great, just increasing our Storm Cloud capacity, but now we have a potential for even more burn effect, which makes our Magma Bead that we picked up, right, the legendary artifact, that much more crucial to this specified build. I mean, Simple Contract is an easy pick. Not only does it give us Companion 10, but this is one of those other artifacts, again, with Alfonso's Horn and Slim Cushion, that just bodes well for all companions. And those are the ones that you really want to boost, especially if you try hard mode. All right, so another 2 enchant. Okay. Well, Slim Cushion, definitely. Let's go ahead and just do Alfonso's Horn for more damage. And then venture forth past this library here. All right, so Bane has now completed the abandoned library where once the dark mages of the north thrived. But why did they leave? Wait, their guardian? Awakened after all these years? Surely this is not due to the lords. Could the Guardian have turned on their own owners? Let's find out. Listen to this soundtrack. Oh my. They just added this. Holy. The Guardian defeated by Bane and his chaos summonings. Bane has an eerie feeling now as he gets deeper and deeper into these trials. I do like Clear Q, but I think I'm well off on Windsong at the moment. I want to try to get... Wow, okay, these are some pretty good items here. Blue Ring is great because it is universal damage boost, and we've been pretty healthy. Lucky enough because, you know, this is a base run to try out this build for everyone to see exactly what I would choose for a build of this caliber. I do really like Zap Bug if we can get the electrocution stacks up, and that would merit a potential for Curse as well. Especially because of the Bruges and the Thunderclouds we are going. So I think picking up the Zap Bug isn't a bad pickup here. Another foundation. So we could remedy this by doubling up here on our minions, which I do really like. So we may do that. All right, here we go. Bane, completing the Dark Trials 3rd floor. And now, with curiosity, ventures in what appears to be the Wasteland? This is the home of the demons. Now, again, we know demons thrive here, but the lores are sending us directly into the path of hell. Oh, no. All right, we're just going to double up on Foundation here. Just makes sense. Utilize this here, and we have a good buff. Now companions get increased defense and, of course, increased damage, which is nice. We get our Mole Chief, our legendary, to its top tier. So now we're definitely going to need some more to progress. Now, we will find another golden needle here because, again, in every stage, these golden needles appear, and I do like this. So what I'm actually going to do is place the golden needle before our Ember, right? Because now, since we have Bruges, we want to make sure we have a decent balance between Ember and Magitech here. So enhancing our Fire Jellyfish here not only increases our Ember to 4 for our combo effect, but it also amplifies damage for this specific jelly at 43%, which is huge. Okay. The Wasteland. All right, there's even more enchant. I will pick up inventory here in this round, but we could go even more enchant, which is pretty good. All right, again, still hoping for Flux Copler as we progress for a Bond artifact, but let's see. Now, another presence you could do, especially with the Wishing Fountain going full, is there is potential, luck, I'm going to go ahead and pick up defense, to start off with Mole Chief, which I've done in many companion builds in the past as well. But I felt like because this was a different style build, I wanted to ensure that I had the legendary pieces and the rare pieces that I needed in order to make this build what I feel like would be really cool for this specific weapon and for this specific costume and build as a whole. All right, looks like there's another area here to the east. Oh, finally, a triple enchant. Let's just make sure there's nothing else here, because we could potentially gain another level to find another artifact. So normally if I find enchants and I still have areas to go, I'll usually wait until I clear out the entire areas, because you never know what you can find. And you may regret putting your enchants into an item and then finding a better item once leveling. Better to be safe, I say. I do really like Helena's Model Stairway, though. Model Mass is huge. We'll pick that up. All right, so we're not going to put points into Model Mass, but I'm so glad that we did try. So we could just go ahead and increase Alfonso's Horn, which would be huge for us here. Could also get the Insignia up. Now, remember, this does not increase chaos damage. All it does is increase our defense to our companions, which is still pretty good. But I'm just going to go ahead and throw everything into Alfonso's Horn. So now all we have left really for a buff for all of our companions currently is Simple Contract and the Insignia. All right, we did say we wanted to go inventory on this one because we do have enchant. I could potentially go dice because I have used quite a bit of rerolls. Mainly because I'm trying to find the Flux Cloaker, hopefully, so we can establish this build to its max. I'm still going for enchant. We're still going to go for the enchant. And it's a 3. Wow. Okay. That's a pretty good pickup. All right. All right, let's see. All right, Bane now ventures forward in what appears to be the last area of these wastelands. But he does sense a heavy demonic force up ahead. What could this be? Could this be the leader of the demons that are summoning all of these other small minions to take down Bane and his chaos summons? Oh, yes. A familiar tribe. The staff demons. Oh, no. Why would the lords summon their rivals here? This is no issue for Bane and his chaos summons. Bane has a strange feeling of what is up ahead. Oh, wow. Hate spear power. That does help us out and go into the glacier route. Beast Heart is really good, especially if you want to go more defensive style. But this is Companion. It's not going to increase anything in regards to Companion itself. Now, I could just go ahead and pick up Stormcloud here and just gain that, which actually may be more beneficial heading into the boss. So let's go ahead and grab that. Plasma Helmet is pretty interesting in this build. Didn't think about actually adding Plasma Helmet. I mean, Plasma is a pretty cool effect because it does change your burn and electrocution to Plasma. Now, the issue is we do lose the electrocution to Plasma, but I wonder how much that is affected with the build going Stormcloud. I mean, we can obviously try it and see what happens. It doesn't really change anything for us. We could just hold off until we have a slot and just keep it on the side. If not, it's something that we can sell. Okay. So again, now we want to go ahead and increase some more here. I could actually get more electrocution stacks. We could potentially put more into Stormcloud to make it a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Insignia so we get a little bit more defense and then health here for companions. All right, here we go. Bane, now weary of why the Dark Lords has sent their young warlocks here to the wasteland, the land of the demons. But no, it's not a demon up ahead, but this is the summoning. Oh no, our lords have summoned the Phantom Lord, Asgard. The Reaper. It appears our Dark Lords are conspiring against its own tribe. Oh, no. They don't want the young warlocks to become lords. Bane now grows even more angry and realizes the lords are summoning the demons to kill all of these warlocks so they keep their helm and stay in rule. Oh, no. Look at this. This is the summoning circle. The same strange statue we saw earlier in the stages. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. Our extra Stormcloud damage, which is something that we want. All right, the biggest item, everything else right now is just going to give us a boost. Ooh. Oh, but we did already combine Foundation, because Foundation at the top along with Shade is a great combination, and this can only go into the top row. Now, I could move this down and then just gain Shade and go that way, which actually wouldn't be too bad, because we could still gain there, but the only issue is then Let's see what we can move around to maybe make that a potential here. Oh, it's going to be a lot of moving here. Let's see. No, we don't want this. We want to gain this one here. And then essentially we're just going to try to swap all of these to go over. Let's see. Okay, I do lose one here, but I think that that's okay. Get our Stormcloud. So we're still at the same with Stormcloud. So now what we could do is we can go ahead and grab Shade, place it here, and now we get an increase on these here. Okay, so we can go ahead and just change the slot and do something of this nature so we can keep our Ember, which I do like. What else we could put? I guess we can do the Magma Bead for the burn potential and then go ahead and grab Electrocution just to go ahead and grab one extra stack. So we do need to get Alfonso back here again, but I think this actually works out pretty well. Now, the one thing we probably will end up swapping here is White Eggshell, because again, White Eggshell doesn't work with bosses. So it may be beneficial to put something else here in its place instead. Maybe more lightning damage and storing capacity with fruit. We'll try that here for the time being. All right, Bane now realizes the Dark Lord's conspiracy. Maybe this is the reason, the true reason, why they didn't let Bane into the Dark Trials earlier, given his great potential. They feared Bane's chaos magic. Going inventory will hurt our current setup. So I'm actually going to go dice and see if we can reroll to gain those specific ones. Now, I do like gaining even more inventory for the potential of more combos for our universal damage, but also we want to ensure that we have buffs to what is already working for us, especially in the damage factor of our companions. All right, here we go. Bane engulfing himself in the chaotic magic, the aura of the Dark Realm, as now he carries himself and his chaos summonings throughout what appears to be a ritual death trap. Are the Dark Lords that fearful of warlocks overtaking them and becoming new lords to sacrifice their own kind? Maybe there's another reason for their betrayal. We'll go ahead and go enchant here. Hopefully another 3 enchant just to get our Alfonso's Horn back, and then maybe a couple others into a simple contract. All right, I'm actually going to try to spend some rerolls and see what we can get as far as luck here. Oh, wow, another plasma helmet. Can you imagine? I don't think I've ever seen 2 plasma helmets in a row, but this is the one. This is the one that we want. So I'm actually going to change out for the burn here and get Flux Cloakwear. So now what will happen is not only do we increase our companion damage, but now what should happen is now every time our companions here in this row attack, because essentially they do chaos damage on top of everything else, should then proc our thunderstorm. The true nature of the chaos summoner. Look at this thundercloud. So what I want to do potentially for that as well is perhaps move out the Magitech. I know this is doing a lot of damage here for us, and it seems a bit silly, but because the jellyfish already does lightning damage, it is going to proc. So putting the golden handbill here allows it now to do chaos damage, which then, of course, allows it to go ahead and summon more of those lightning strikes from our storm cloud. So we will try that here. Yes. The storm rises with our Chaos Summoner. Holy. Electrochakram is pretty cool in a build like this. Reroll a couple of times. Maybe see what we could potentially get. Not really what I was searching for. So we'll go ahead and continue on. A 2 enchant. So not really what we were looking for. But nonetheless, it still will help. We could get an extra electrocution stack. I do like trying to get the ruby brush here a bit higher just because we do have that burn. And we can get some more stuff here. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going on my stride to go ahead and get our companions boosted here with those buff items. All right, Bane. Now with the power of storms. Oh my goodness. Now, we do have a Mystic, so we could do a multiplier for the bottom, which would increase the damage amplification for our tarot here, which sounds really good. But I would say if you feel like it's going to be crucial, go ahead and pick this up. Otherwise, the Lightning Stone would be really good here. So I'm actually going to pick up the Lightning Stone and hope that my companions here will be able to block any damage here for young Bane. All right, here we go. Ah, yes. Definitely a demonic sense here. This is from the After Image tribe. The lords have summoned After Images? Oh, no. They truly wanted anything that came in the trials to perish. Oh, the after image didn't even touch down before it got paired. Oh my goodness. All right, successful dash attack, consumption speed. I mean, it is Storm Cloud, but we don't really need anything for combo. White paper is pretty interesting. There's a lot of different stuff we could do with white paper to potentially get Magitech or Ember up as well. We can also pick up the key, but I do actually like this and see what we could potentially come up with. I mean, we could do something of this nature. And then we can do this. So now we get an extra Ember. So it boosts our universal damage. And if we could put a 1 here, it increases universal damage even further. All right, here we are. Bane has now risked his life here through these dreaded caves and now faces a demon guardian. Kraz, the once legendary dragon. Bane will do whatever it takes to defeat the Dark Lords. I do like Golden Cloak, again, just to add some more dashes. That's why I have it highlighted. I actually don't mind taking that, because that would also potentially get us to some of the music sheets that are pretty good in this build. I also really like Rally here because I see where it can be a huge potential for some of our minions here. So we'll go ahead and pick up Rally. All right. Now there is an opening, it appears, here in the cave to go back to the tribe and warn the other warlocks. But no. Instead, Bane is going to use his chaos magic to dispel a dark seal placed here by the Dark Lords. What are they hiding? Oh no. The demon, the Dark One. Here we go. Bane now understands. The Dark Lords have conspired with the Dark One, the Demon Lord himself, to rid of all future warlocks and keep their ruling in their tribe. Well, Bane will not stand for this. There it is. The Demon Lord vanquished. Or so Bane thinks. His companions rally behind him, creating a force field of nightmarish powers to save Bane and take him to the Temple of the Demons. Ooh. Here we are. The final step into defeating the Dark Lords, the once famed leaders of Bane's tribe. Okay, I do want to combine here. I want Rally and Oaths. And I want to rotate it this way. So now we can get a full on here. Yes, I like that. So we do lose an Ember, but that's okay, just due to the Gold Needle here, but I do like this a little bit better. We could potentially get another Golden Needle here for increased damage. We could put that here for Jelly, potentially, and gain Magitech as well. Cold Lock is pretty good, unfortunately, because it has the restriction, and I don't have anything that negates restriction at the moment. It's not really the best. So I do like just grabbing another Golden Needle here. It's just more damage potential. Alright, here we are, Bane. This is it. I'm just going to go for enchant and increase what we have. Alright, our Chaos Summons here is all that's left to take on the minions of the Dark One and defeat the Dark Lords of our tribe. All right, we did get an extra enchant. Let's see what we get on level up first. I mean, at this point, anything that's going to help out with Stormcloud is going to be pretty beneficial. I would like the legendaries if possible. Might be greedy, but why not? Oh, that could be interesting. Frost Relic. This does give us Magitech 6. Summon Ice Lightning Blades. I mean, only the Chaos Summoner could summon Chaos summoned lightning blades. Okay, I've never used this item, so this will be quite interesting to see it in action. I mean, yeah, we talked about electrocution. I think I should probably try to get more burn stacks to try to get our stuff up. I could also do damage amplification here as well. But since we have the Ruby Baruch with the burn too, might as well see if we can go ahead and increase this as well. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to go for dice just so we can reroll since this is the last phase. All right, here we are, Bane. This is it. The last wave of enemies before we face the Dark One. Wow. That, bond artifact is pretty cool, I have to say. It actually gives me an idea for another build. All right, but first, Bane's story. Okay, here we go. Windsong. I mean, we haven't gone full-on Windsong like I was potentially looking to do here. We could go entrance. Place entrance here to gain some buffs and boosts, which I don't mind. Essentially, I could just try to move Shade here, do something of this nature. Okay, just to get a little more oomph here. The two, I'm actually curious to see how this does with the damage amplification on from it and the increase. And then for this, we could increase lightning. Chance the enemies drop, or we could do even more damage here just to get a little more boost. Okay. We need another stack there, so I'll just go ahead and finish off for the HP for our companions. All right. This is it. Could have re-rolled more, so I guess I could have gone another option, but that's okay. All right, this is it. The final run. Might as well just go ahead and grab potions. Yeah, so we didn't utilize plasma. I mean, again, I could see where this could potentially have been good, but I like the electrocution burn effect instead of changing it to plasma for where we currently have. So again, I wasn't expecting too high-end damage. Honestly, 2k per second is better than what I initially thought. This is more about the minions doing tons of damage. We did get Flux Coupler late, but there is potential to do even more. All right, here we go, Bane. This is it. To save the warlocks from future peril, we must defeat the Dark One. Yes, the ruler of hell. Here we go. Bring it, Dark One. Bane's companions save him yet again. The Chaos Summoner and his loyal subjects. Here we go. Again, when you see those daggers, you could potentially get 3, and it will allow Din to do his sword damage. This also allows you to get the bind here from our lion friend. There it is. The sealing of the Dark One. But wait, our young Dark Lord still isn't strong enough for a full seal. He must defeat the Dark One in its true form. Here we go. Here we are, Bane. For all of those who doubted you, and for the betrayal of the Dark Ones themselves, here we go, minions. Come on. Rise, Bane. We're almost there. Hang in there. This is it. Final seal. Here we go. With his chaos summons by his side, Bane unleashes a nightmare. And asks his companions to engulf this Dark One and bind it to hell forever. There it is. The Dark Lord of Chaos Summoning is born. Okay. Bane has defeated the Dark One, and the Dark Lords have perished. Now the tribe has a new leader, a true leader, and a Chaos Summoner. Wow. Very fun build. I will say Dark Veil is a pretty difficult item. There were a lot of things that could have gone better in our way, especially if you were to try this in a hard mode tier. More likely, it's a bit more on luck, especially in regards to the legendary. So I think there actually should be a heavier focus on the Magitech side. I think once we picked up the Bruche, we lost a little bit there. But overall, I felt like it was a pretty fun build. And the foundation of aligning the Flux Coupler with the companions doing chaos damage, which means they all do elemental, is really good. So if we were to pick up something like the banner in Windsong to allow the minions within that, including ourselves, to do more attack damage, and if we were able to pick up Tablet or some of those high-end legendaries for Stormcloud, we would have kept up Stormcloud, which would have meant we would have had even more damage, because we did run out of Stormcloud capacity during that fight, which I presumed we would because we didn't pick it up. So I think if you are able to pick up those items, this build could actually be very, very good and mid to high tier. So, but there you have it. The request made, a companion turtle build with the Dark Veil Dagger. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. It does help me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, please feel free to post in the comments. I do reply to all of my comments, so let me know what you think of the game, the gameplay, the build, and the lore. And of course, if you'd like to follow this and all of my content, please subscribe. We are building a great community here. Love to see you join, especially if you're enjoying the content. And a big shout out to all my current subscribers that constantly comment, like, and share my videos. Thank you all so much. I greatly appreciate you. Until next time, everyone, take care.